Hey y'all, I'm James Wright and welcome to my shop. Today we're talking 1, 2, 3 blocks. Now these can cause a lot of excitement, but only if you're a geek like me. So let's dive in and look at some of the fun things. 1, 2, 3 blocks. I did a video on these about a year ago, and they are really common in the machinist world. If you do metalworking, you use these every day, all the time. They just have so many different uses because they are exactly 90 degrees on all sides. They're 1 inch by 2 inch by 3 inches, 1, 2, 3 block. And there are a lot of uses in the woodworking shop. I talked through a lot of those uses about a year ago, and a bunch of you guys gave me a bunch of ideas, and they do show up in my shop from time to time. Don't get me wrong, they're useful. They're great to have around, and for the price, you might as well have a set of these in the shop. But Tay Tools contacted me a little bit after I put out the video on that. He said, hey, I'm actually working on something right now that will make these a lot more fun. He sent me, and a few other people, a prototype kit for nuts and bolts. Well, that doesn't make any sense. Now, these are very simple. They are the basic ones that he machined in-house to play around with them. Basically, they're a cylindrical rod that can fit into the hole in any one of them, even the threaded ones. And they also have a threaded hole in them that a bolt can then turn into. But half of them are completely smooth, so the bolt can slide through. So it can slide through one and thread into the other. Also on the end, there is a slot for a standard screwdriver to come in and be able to turn and adjust them. And you can really crank them down. And now I've got a square. These are held together as a single piece, and I could stack them together in any orientation I need or want. Problem is, the prototypes, well, they're made of aluminum and they're not going to last very long, and they were easy to machine, but they're prototypes. So the full set now comes with 2 pairs of steel versions, so that they're really good, as well as a flat blade so that you can adjust them in the hole. It comes with the Allen wrench, it comes with 2 long screws, it comes with 2 medium screws, and it comes with 2 short screws, so you can attach these through any dimension you want. So if I want to actually attach through one, I can come from one side all the way over into the other and attach them together in this orientation, or in this orientation, in any orientation you want. You can now connect these together and make large flat surfaces or large squares, or connect them in any orientation you might desire. So in the past, I've used them as a chisel guide. They're perfectly 90 degrees and comes out in that. But in this case, I could actually use them as a much bigger chisel guide to get a little bit more accuracy on there. I could now then use them as a clamping square. So if I want to actually clamp something to this, I could put it in the inside, and I can clamp here, and I can clamp here, and I know that these are locked to square. Or I could make them even longer, or I could make them a specific size. There's also enough flexibility in their mounting position, so I could put them all the way together to a 1/4 inch and go all the way out to a full 1 inch. That will allow me to make a full double-sided marking guide. So I can tighten this up, and I can mark on this side of the board, come around over here and mark on this side of the board, and know that those 2 lines match up exactly on the other side. Now this may seem like it's no benefit at all for a board like this, but if I've ever wanted to make 2 marks on a live-sided board where both edges were live-sided, I can't put a square on here to make this line match up with this line. Well, now I could actually create one of these to saddle this and actually put parallel lines down either side at the same time. On top of that, there are now these vices that can then lock into it, and we can clamp things down to the block. So if you want to clamp down a corner to precisely 90 degrees, you can very easily put the clamp on here and put a clamp on here, and now I've got something that'll clamp this to 90 degrees. Or I can put it in any other orientation and get something really close to the joint. So if I want to do pressure right on the dovetails, I can come in here and go right on the dovetails. Or I could clamp it down the side of the bench and create a stop. I could clamp it down onto a piece of work and create a stop, or another way that I can clamp something against it. If I want to make specific markings to go onto it, I can clamp those onto it. This setup allows you to make an infinite number of jigs to specifically match the work you want to work on. So these things take all of the simple benefits of a 1, 2, 3 block and expand them. So not only do you have the normal mounting and capabilities of a 1, 2, 3 block, but you can put them together and create new mounting capabilities and new ways to connect them together that are just, oh, wow, there's a lot you can do with this. If you want to make that specific jig and you want to make sure it's exactly the way it needs to be, these can really get you there and provide you something that you just haven't been able to do in the past. Now here's the problem though. They're kind of new on the market. And so they are still to the point where, yeah, you're looking for places to use them. So in many cases, they really are a solution looking for a problem to fix. But with so many different possibilities and so many different ways of working together, just having them in my shop, this is going to be something that I'm going to be like, oh yeah, I can use it for that. And specifically for the clamping mechanism, making squares, having something to hold this down on here, or having a larger reference surface for a chisel or something else to reference against, this is invaluable, having a really wide 90-degree square. I love this one particular application, but I know it's just going to morph from there. So I'm really interested to see what ways would you use these? How would you like to see them tried? And I'm going to be experimenting with a bunch of things here, and I'm probably going to put out a videos here showing all of the different things I've found, because these are really, really cool. It's just one of those aha things that I'm surprised no one else has come up with. And if I were still working at a metal shop, I would be wetting myself with joy trying to get these, because there are just so many different ways you can mount things down to a surface to then do machining on top of it. Yes, these are cool, and I'm really looking forward to experimenting and playing with them more. So I could really use your help. What ideas do you have that I should try with this? What things would you use them for? How do these little gadgets change a 1, 2, 3 block into something that's even more useful? I'd love to hear your ideas on that, because I'm going to be experimenting with it, and I'd love to see if there's something specific you'd like to see me experiment with on. I have a feeling you're probably going to be seeing these little things popping up in YouTube videos all over the place, because that's a really useful little tool, and I'm really looking forward to experimenting with it. 1, 2, 3 blocks by themselves are a lot of fun, but you then throw in all of these other cool gadgets, and you've got a really cool toy. So I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. Let me know, what would you like to see me try? What would you want to try with these? Let me know that down below. Anytime you comment down below, or you hit the like, share, subscribe, those things really do help out the algorithm and help us get in front of more people, so thank you for that. It is a free way to help the channel grow. If you would like to take it one step farther, there are a whole bunch of people scrolling over here on the side. They are the patrons on Patreon. They're the ones who are quite literally keeping us going. We are completely sponsored by you, the viewers, so thank you for that. If you'd like to help out with Patreon, you can do that in the description down below, or you can click that little join button and become a member here down on YouTube. So thank you for that. We do have special perks for both patrons and members, and really that means more than I can say, so thank you for that. On that note, I think I'll do it for now, and until next time, have a wonderful day. Finally! Real 1, 2, and 3 blocks. Look, there's 3 blocks, 2 blocks, and 1 block. It's a 1, 2, 3 block set.